Looks pretty good to me. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. It's the final countdown! If you went to the live page for this video, then you would have seen the live countdown. That's how I was doing it, because I was able to schedule out this live stream into the future. 5 minutes into the future, because I never really know when I'm going to be able to live stream on any given day, but I appreciate the fact that you did turn on notifications. All of you out there who consider yourselves Notification Squad, not just for this channel, but for the other channel. Don't go looking at the other channel right now, because it still has last night's video. What was last night's video? I've forgotten. Oh, yeah. Ways that Google could beat Apple. It was really funny, because we got a lot of comments on it, but most of the comments on Google Plus were kind of hilarious. They didn't even bother listening to the video. Like, this is to me, this is Google Plus, right? I can read the headline and then I leave a comment. Like, okay. Like, if you actually listened to the video, you would recognize I wasn't talking about market share. But if you missed yesterday's video on the other channel, you can watch it afterwards. And then, after TLDR tonight, live right now with everybody here, as well as some of the patrons and the Twitch subs behind me in Discord chat, open 24/7, I'll be uploading youtube.com/Chris Pirillo, the video I recorded tonight, asking if smartwatches are a fad. Are wearables a fad? What's the future of this stuff? And I'm asking for serious reasons. I'm just curious where your head's at. I know where my head's at. So let me tell you where your head could be at. If you have a question during this live broadcast, it is for you. TLDR, the LockerGnome Daily Report. Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo. I don't necessarily believe in following things in order, obviously. You can super chat. It's easy to do. Your question will bubble up to the top. I'll respond to it before seeing anything else. Or if you want to join the Discord chat, two ways of doing that. Either A, you can become a patron of mine by heading over to patreon.com/Chris Pirillo. Easy to do. Integrated with Discord when your accounts are connected. And magically, this channel will show up. That's, I guess, how it works with integrations in Discord. But you have to connect your Patreon account to Discord. That's one way. Links in the video description. Another way, and I guess I need to explain this differently because I tried last night, and unfortunately, I guess I didn't do it well enough before, but last night we gained 5 new subs in the Discord chat because of how I explained it. So let me go ahead and try this again. You go over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo. You click the sub to Chris Pirillo button, wherever that is. If you have an Amazon Prime account connected to your Twitch account, that may be free every month, though you have to kind of manually renew it every month. Once you've done that, so long as you have your Twitch account connected to your Discord account, the Discord chat, much like with Patreon, will just show up in your integrations in Discord. So that's how you do it. It could be free, or you can support me directly with whatever way you just decide to do it. So that's the setup. Now everybody's joined me. You got to kind of have to give a little time for people to show up at the beginning of a live stream. So that's kind of the administrivia, but still important to note. We have already broken the ice. Michael Tristan, who is also back here. Look at that. He's waving the hand emoji. And David Stevens. They've done 2 super chats. Well, one of them's done one, the other's done another super chat. I appreciate it. Justin Miller also comes in with the 3rd super chat. I haven't even been broadcasting for, I don't know, because I'm not wearing a wearable. How will I know the time? How could I ever possibly know the time? It's impossible unless you're wearing a watch. Okay. Thank you for the super chats. If you do have questions, feel free to ask them. I will see them. Liz, you cooked the meal. Oh, that's right. It's Canadian Thanksgiving Day. I didn't realize it was this early, but man, that's pretty awesome. Why are you not getting notifications when TLDR is online, Fraxis? I don't know. Check your spam. YouTube's kind of funky. Make sure you have notifications turned on for this YouTube channel as well as the other one, because remember, there are 2 that'll go. Try turning it on in multiple devices too. I don't know if that'll do the trick. YouTube, man, they've not done anybody any favors, as far as I can tell. Like, they're always changing the rules on us. Like, just when you think you've got it figured out, you don't. As soon as I think I know what you want, I am wrong. So please, ask some questions. I would be more than happy to answer them. It would be a great end to a great day, honestly. I went to BritCon. If you missed the tweets, I posted a couple of photos, including, oh, you're going to love this. So not like I like the drama. I'm not the kind of person who stirs up drama, who revels in drama. But let me go ahead and tell you what happened. I posted a couple of photos earlier on social. And one of them was an HDR photo taken with the iPhone 8. And it was rather muted. I know it's HDR and you need to boost it in post. But I just thought, wow, this is really kind of lackluster. So then I boosted it in the Google Photos because the built-in iPhone app just didn't do enough for me. Or the Photos app didn't do enough with the auto modification. But I opened up in Google Photos, pressed one of the filters, and I was like, wow, now it pops. So I posted both the photos online. One unprocessed and the other one, a bit processed. So then someone had the nerve to call me biased, effectively, saying that, well, Google must have paid you, effectively, to do this, because there's no way that's a shot from the iPhone 8. I'm like, are you kidding me? So then I go in and I post another shot with EXIF header data on both of the images, side by side, but he still couldn't let it go. Like, I was clearly in the wrong. He had no proof, no evidence, but just wanted to accuse me of being biased. Well, I've taken better shots with the iPhone 8. I've taken better shots with the iPhone 8 Plus. That wasn't the point. The point was, I was just surprised that it wasn't as vibrant as I thought it could have been, even with an HDR shot. It was very low light. It was afternoon, very cloudy. But still, no matter what you do, you're just accused of being wrong. But that really bothers me. It bothers me when someone questions my integrity like that. The onus is on him. The burden of proof is on him to prove his case, with no evidence, no proof, saying that it was rigged, that I somehow rigged a photo that I wanted to take on the only phone I had on me. Yeah. Anyway, that just stuck in my craw. And I've yet to figure out where the hell my craw is. If anybody knows where a craw is, please let me know. Please. Because I'm trying to figure it out. Papa P asks, and I know we've got a laundry list of questions here. Is Apple Watch Series 3 much faster than Series 2? I don't know. I know Vicky Gillen, who may be back here. She was hanging out in Discord earlier. I don't know. As far as I can tell, not really. I mean, the software kind of runs the same way. It's, I guess, a little faster. A pretty dramatic difference between the first generation of Apple Watch hardware and the second generation. But the Apple Watch is generally not going to be a speed demon. The software is not necessarily optimized for it either, outright. It will drain battery like you wouldn't believe, especially if you get on an LTE call. I mean, you can just hear the battery sucking away when you're on a call. No, that would be bad. No, that's an iPhone speaker. I'm sorry. That's the speaker noise, the speaker crackling. That's not a feature in the Apple Watch 3. I love the color red. I do. I don't know if I want it on my digital crown. It's just what I'm saying. So the Apple Watch Series 3 is fine for other people. I'm sure you're going to be happy with it and everything, but I'm passing. Just, you got to watch the video I did tonight. It's 20 minutes long. I know you're used to a half hour from me. Another person, did you see this tweet? We screenshotted the comment. He said, "Great content, but it's too long. I'm going to unsubscribe." I'm like, wait, well, what? This is my Jackie Chan moment. What? What are you talking about? So you liked what I do, clearly, good content, but it's too long? You're unsubscribing, but you liked it? That'd be like me saying, I like Star Wars, but the movies are 2 hours long. I'm never going to watch again. Who says that? Who says that about something that they like? Oh, jeez, help me. Jesus, take the wheel. Speaking of help me, David Stevens comes in with a super chat. Chris, help me. I can. I know that maybe. I know that the iPhone 10 is a UI UX monstrosity, but the nerd inside me wants to at least try it out. I currently have the 8 Plus 2. So here's my feeling on that. Give it a shot. Walk into a store, make up your own mind. I have not yet done that for myself. I don't know if they're even out in the stores, honestly. But I'm not compelled to go and touch one because I know what a good software experience is. At a distance, I know what one is. I can tell you right up front. And dude, if I can pick up an animation jank in a video from far away at 24 frames per second and report it to Google and they file a bug report, I think I can tell you with a great amount of assurance that the UI and the UX of the iPhone 10 is not as good as it could be. But that's none of my business. Fraxis asks, how's the LG V30 treating you? I think it's treating me well. I really like the fast charge feature. And in fact, when you plug it in, it'll tell you how much charging time is left. That's neat. I will tell you that I've also... Okay, I unlocked it, I thought. I felt a bump, but now it unlocks. The camera app needs a lot of work. I went to record a front-facing video earlier today, and I was so completely unimpressed. I mean, the front-facing photo seems okay, but I went to record a video. Here's the problem. When I swipe over to video, it starts recording like right away. I have no setup time. I can't tap to focus anywhere, or I can't tap to like lock exposure. But in terms of the view, it's not as nice as the iPhone 8 front-facing camera. And moreover, there's a ton of noise, a lack of sharpness in the front-facing camera, at least in terms of recording video and whatever resolution it is. To me, it's unusable. I can't record a front-facing video on this camera. It is not a replacement at all. So I'm not sure. I don't think I did anything wrong. It was buggy before I started, thinking with it. But outright, in terms of like what I'm using it for, if I'm using it for anything, is testing. I'm using Nova launcher on it, which is fine. It's cleaner. It's a bit snappier than the LG experience, not by much. Honestly, it's kind of on par. But I like the experience a little more. It's just a bit cleaner for my tastes. But just in kind of like I wonder what this is like, and then I pick it up and I try it. The camera. Maybe the outward-facing camera will impress me when I, go and play with that. So thank you for asking the questions. Thank you for all the super chats. And diving back into chat, Eli, the computer guy. I met him once. Eli's a good guy. I thought he's a nice guy. Knows his stuff. He's a computer guy. I'm not a computer guy. I'm not. I'm like the anti-computer guy. I'm like, I don't want to mess with him. That's why I'm not... You're never going to see me build a computer. You know what you'll see me build? A Lego set. This is what you will see me build. This is one of the swag items. I got a whole huge bag of stuff when I went to BritCon. They gave this to me for registering as an exhibitor, effectively, like Chima and Dimensions. I got tons of coupons to save money, so I'm going to get more sets. They have bags from sets. That, again, they're not necessarily, using, and everybody who registered that level gets, a unique badge and everything. My swag, the one that I got some minifigures for like $5 a piece. X-Wing minifigures. They're all different in some capacity. Probably same characters, but like Biggs and Wedge and Luke. But dude, tons of Brits. So awesome. Wait until you see the videos. One of the videos I think will go public in the Geek Family Fun channel on YouTube, which is still around. And the others are going to go to the geekfamilyfun.com patrons. I want the Lego Millennium Falcon as well. The problem is it's so big I wouldn't know where to put it. And it's so kind of pricey that I wouldn't know how to effectively afford it. If I have $7, I wish, $700 to spend, I'm not sure if I could justify it. And I love Lego. I just don't know if I would necessarily... And you can't even get one now. I could have. But dude, I could not justify that cost. And I love Lego. And I love Star Wars. And even I could not justify that cost outright. Adam Hyatt comes in with another super chat saying, if you move to another ecosystem, how would you solve the problem of possibly losing iTunes content? I have quite a bit of money invested in iTunes. So Apple Music also works on Android. Whether or not that's connected to iTunes and your purchases, I couldn't speak to that. I don't think so. All the more reason why, going back years, I never really heavily invested in any one platform for digital music or movies or TV shows or anything. I've redeemed free codes. I have paid for some movies. The Disney movies can run anywhere. Star Wars, largely Disney movies now, minus the first movie, A New Hope, which is that license I think would stick with that platform. But I'm in the position where that's not a concern because I did not spend the money early on feeling like, well, what if one day I'm not using Apple's products and I can't get to that media? So I was very grateful that I decided to take that approach because I'm not finding myself with that frustration. Even with music, I've always gone to a subscription plan. I used, what was the first one? Urge? No. Before then it was Rhapsody, then Urge, then back to Rhapsody, then I mean, I've used different ones over time, but it's always been subscription. So I don't set up playlists. I just search for music, and then quite honestly, I lived without one for a while because if I want to listen to a song, I just go to YouTube, search for the music, and I'm good. Yeah, I don't want to go through the rigmarole of anything. It's not interesting to me. Other than YouTube Red. YouTube Red is an extreme value to me. I love YouTube Red. YouTube Red is something that I've recommended for everybody. Comes with a Google Play Music subscription. But in terms of how to do that, I don't think you effectively can. Unless you keep one Apple device around that has the content. If you kept one Apple device around that had that content, I would go with the most affordable one. And with all the media, Apple TV. And that's a pretty good compromise. If I went, and eliminated, the iPad and eliminated the iPhone outright, and I think I could get along without having an iPad. I'm not sure if I could get along without having an iPhone for a few reasons, not just compatibility in the future, but also objectivity into the future. I would keep an Apple TV. Probably more than I would keep the other things because of the media that we have, because it's relatively simple, and we've got them and they work and they're generally not annoying, minus the voice features. Every time I search for something using my voice, Apple TV is just an utter failure. And I don't want to hear about how it's awesome for you because you're not here and you don't use my stuff. And I don't care how well it works for you necessarily. I know what I've been through. I know my experience. So that's how I feel about that. And everybody feels differently. I understand that. David Steven comes in. Sorry, David, I tripped over your name. With another super chat. I know you don't like surrounding yourself with hardware, but why not stay in the Apple ecosystem and also enjoy other platforms? Because I'm not happy with the iPad as a secondary screen. I want for more with this device. It's impressive-ish, but iOS is honestly what's pushing me away more than anything. Not Mac OS. I'm generally fine with Mac OS, and because I don't really see a viable alternative to that. But as far as iOS is concerned, I think I can do better. I talk a bit about the Apple Watch in today's other YouTube video and the other YouTube channel, so I don't want to speak too much about that right now. But to me, it's just finding something that I'm comfortable with, that I'm happy with, that I'm satisfied with, and iOS just no longer satisfies me. I think that Apple's taking a different direction, and honestly, I think trying these new Google devices is ultimately going to dissuade me from continuing to use the Apple TV. And even if I lose a couple of a couple of purchased movies, like Les Miserables was one. What's another one that I got outright? I can't remember. I've mostly redeemed Disney movies, which run on Disney Anywhere, but Les Miserables I purchased outright. That may be the only one I bought. Huh. So, I'm willing to just, sideline it and just consider it just a cost of an upgrade. If I find a compelling experience, I may end up getting a Chromecast and then using Chromecasts everywhere. But you also have to remember, Diana hasn't really moved, or been willing to move necessarily, but this is interesting. I'm glad you asked this question, because Diana, if she continues to use an iPhone, and having an Apple TV is more convenient for her than a Chromecast, although Chromecast has an iOS app. And I think she'd be fine. She'd be fine with changing an Apple TV out or swapping that out. I would want to sell them. I don't want to hold on to the hardware. I want to sell all that stuff. I don't want to sit on it indefinitely. It's sitting around not making money. I could sell it. Expect more news on that if it does happen. The other thing though is the podcast we recorded today. It'll be out tomorrow. So tune into that. I will do this. I gotta remember, but I'll try to publish it on Anchor before it goes out in the podcast feed, so you can listen to it ahead of time. Just download the Anchor client at anchor.fm/Chris Pirillo. That would be my profile name. You can listen to Chris Pirillo, the podcast, on any of your podcast clients. But tomorrow's podcast is effectively Diana and I talking about this very topic, about, iOS and Android and the Pixel and the iPhone. And I thought it was an interesting conversation to have. We were in the car anyway. But yeah, you've got to listen to that one. I think. I mean, it kind of it's speaking around the same pain points that you're talking about. I believe there is a balance, and it's finding something that works for me, and then having fun on top of that. So to me, I believe that iOS isn't having fun. I'm not having fun with iOS. There's nothing in iOS that's just doing it for me. I gotta tell you, it's getting painful. So if there's a better alternative for it, I'll go that direction. I talked about the wearable, as I mentioned in the other video. I'll talk about other aspects to it if you're wanting to pursue this question further. So yeah, it's tricky. Nerd with Jordans in chat asks, what is your thoughts on a Pixel Watch? I don't have one, obviously. No one does. I talked about it in today's Chris Pirillo video. I know, I'm Chris Pirillo. This is TLDR, the AMA. If you want a single topic video, it'll be in the other channel, youtube.com/Chris Pirillo. I answer that very question in the video. So, we are so on the same page here. We are simpatico. Louie, I stopped in the Amazon store today for the first time, even though I've walked past it before, just to see if I could see the new Fire tablets. They weren't in. I'm still inclined to get the new the kids tablet, the Fire kids tablet, whatever it's called, for Jedi, but I don't want to introduce her to it too early because I don't want her to always go to it and always want it. I think exposing your kids to too much technology early on is very, very detrimental. Steve Jobs felt this way as well. I'd rather her explore and have fun with like Lego bricks and build things outright and then introduce technology as a value. But they didn't have the latest Fire Sticks either. He said maybe in the next 10 days or so. I'm not a fan of what Amazon's doing with software. The hardware, I think, is compelling. Their price point is compelling. Their software is getting better with the next iteration, but it's still not where I would like it to be. It's not what I would be comfortable with in terms of me choosing it. It doesn't have what I would want. Amazon's got an amazing offering, absolutely. Some of them are within impulse buy territory. Jedi's first tablet will likely be a Fire, but I'm still inclined to go with Google on this for a cleaner software experience, even if the price point is, even if it's somewhat different. We've got another well, it's always AMA. Another super chat. Abdi Ahmed asks, which would you recommend between Pixel 2 and LG V30? I don't know if I would necessarily have an answer to that question because I would be judging from afar. Given that they have the same screen, I'm not sure how I feel about the screen banding issue that I ran into with the LG V30. Not happy about that. But I also don't know if it's necessarily going to smack me in the face as much as I would expect. Like it's usually only prevalent. Let's see here. If I go to like an all-white screen, I'll just pull up Brave. If I go to an all-white screen, it seems like it's more of an issue, especially if my face is in it, and if I'm dimmer than like 30%, I can see the issue. It's an issue. It seems like some spots on the screen are like darker than others, especially when the screen is dimmed. That it bugs me. I don't know if it would bug me as much as it might others, or that I'd throw the device through the window, because it's there, and I'm willing to take a sacrifice with hardware if I can, if it means a better software experience for me. And between the LG V30 and the Pixel 2, I will tell you from afar, the Pixel 2 is going to have a better software experience from an Android point of view. LG V30 is going to have a more comprehensive Star Wars experience, software experience, because there's more that the LG V30 has to offer with its software, and it's specifically with its hardware. I will let you know what I feel after I've had a chance to use the Pixel 2. If I had a Pixel first gen, which I'm still looking at getting somehow, in some way. I don't know which one I'd go for, the regular Pixel or the Pixel 2. I'm sorry, the Pixel XL. I may pick one up seemingly on Amazon. It seems like the best way to do it. I don't know if I'd want to get a refurb outright. It makes me a little nervous. Like, with account credentials, and you don't know if someone's rooted the device or anything like that. I'm like, nah, not going to take chances. I want a clean experience outright. But I don't, unfortunately, have a response to that. What I believe it is right now. RM, that's the handle there on the YouTube chat. Are you confident that software on Google is better than iOS? At a distance, yes, I am. And that's based on my experience with the Nexus 6P, which I'm happy with. Like, I don't feel like I need to modify it in any way. I mean, there's things that I would like, on it, certainly. But it's a clean experience. I think Android Oreo on a Nexus 6P is cleaner than iOS 11 on an iPhone 8 Plus. Yes, definitively. That's just my experience with the generation of hardware that's 2 years old. What does that tell you? It's all about the software, man. It's all about the software. Markovic says, no point in getting the first version if you're going to get the second iteration anyway. Well, here's why. I would want to compare them, because I think people would be interested in that from me. Moreover, if Diana wants a Pixel, I mean, yeah, would I want to get her a Pixel 2? Yeah, maybe. Or give her the one that I'm not using? I don't know. But if I can find a more affordable Pixel that she's able to get pretty much all the benefits of the new Pixel on the older one, why wouldn't I? And I don't know the answer. I don't have the answer to the question. And it's like, I wish I was Mr. Moneybags. And I appreciate, by the way, the super chats, the Twitch subs, and the patrons. Every little bit helps. But I can't, I wish I had the perfect scenario. And I don't. But if I had to choose an Android device for Diana outright, listen to the podcast tomorrow. You'll love it. I loved it. It was fun. It was fun to do with Diana. I'm hoping we'll be able to do it more frequently. And Jedi was in there too. David Stevens comes in with a new super chat. Says, my Pixel XL2 is arriving October 30th. Oh, my body is ready. What's your ETA? Dude, like, I'm confused. Like, one part says shipping or shipped, and then the other part says won't ship until October 17th. So I'm getting my Pixel book October 30th, or it ships October 30th, I think. And the Pixel 2s and the Pixel 2 cases on October 17th. So I think I'm like first round of Pixels. Right about there. I'll keep everybody posted on that front. I can wait. I'm going to have a very busy week anyway with regular content for y'all. But this weekend is Galaxar. Our second Galaxar is happening in the greater Seattle area. If you're interested in all in, like, Lego stuff and Star Wars stuff and collectibles, modern, vintage, etc., we got like 70 vendors. It's my event. I'm hosting it. It's going to be fun. I mean, we're going to have a packed house. I know. I do more than just this stuff. We also may have an announcement tomorrow for the Creator Advocate Summit in November here in the Seattle area, if you're interested. Rob Madden comes in with the next super chat, says, thoughts on 3D TVs? They tend to hurt my eyes. I get motion sickness easily. I've never had the issue with 3D stuff. We've got 3D on TV in the bedroom, the 4K HDR LG TV they sent it as a review unit. You know how many times we've used the 3D feature? None. Still kind of gimmicky. Very gimmicky. Some people like it. Some people love it. I'm like, In the movie theater, yeah, I'd be inclined to go see a 3D movie. But at home, not sure I'm feeling it. I'm not sure it's as compelling of an experience for me. I mean, sometimes you do see a little bit of depth, and maybe as Jedi gets older and we want to watch a 3D movie. Yeah, if it was built for 3D or with 3D in mind, yeah, I may be interested in doing that. Mr. Phalange asks, Chris, got a 1-month-old Pixel XL. Check your email. What? Oh, no, I'm not going to buy a used one from anybody. I think you may have emailed me too. Like I said, I'm not interested in buying a used device. Not that I don't appreciate the offer, but it really makes me nervous. Really makes me nervous. For the aforementioned reasons. Oh my, you got Google's laptop too, Chris, says Flavius Julianus in chat. Yeah, why not? I mean, it looks nice from a distance. I'm kind of excited to try Android side by side and with Chrome. Dude, the Chrome OS on generations of hardware, like, so old and a crappy system back then, was a good experience. The software ran well on old hardware. So it makes you wonder how it works now. How well it works now. I'd be looking for that, not as a laptop replacement outright, is more of like an iPad replacement, believe it or not. Because I've really, the iPad has been so disappointing. I don't game a lot. And I don't play any iPad games any more than, I might play a game at some point, maybe that will run on Android, on Chrome OS, or anything like that. But I thought I would at one point, but not so much. It's primarily a productivity device for me. So I'm willing to do that, and then sell my my iPad 2 and the keyboard to somebody. Someone will buy it. I mean, it's someone likes this stuff. Someone wants this stuff. The bezels on the Pixelbook seem so bold and old style, says Gustavo Barbosa. Who cares? I mean, okay, I get it. You care. I don't care. I genuinely don't. The only thing that bothers me about bezels is when someone slaps a logo on them. That bugs me to an insane degree. I know, I wear Star Wars everywhere, although I will point out that I'm not wearing Star Wars now. This is Jinx. Jinx sent me t-shirts at one time. Then they stopped. I think Jinx is no longer around. I don't know. I don't really hear much from them anymore. But yeah, I used to wear their t-shirts all the time, and then I got Star Wars t-shirts. So anyway, I don't care about bezels. It's not a thing for me because I look at the software. Then maybe aesthetically I might look at the bezels. They just don't bother me. HomePod thoughts, asks Max F in chat. I don't have any thoughts. I guess they're going to be about the same price roughly as the Google Home speaker. That to me, I think, is it's going to be interesting because I think they're about the same price. 1, 2, the Google Home speaker, at least when you buy it, comes with a year's worth of YouTube Red, which is worth $120, which is awesome. So it's effectively it's less. It's lowering your total cost of ownership because I use YouTube Red anyway, so that's $120 savings. I think I would be inclined if I lived in both ecosystems until an audiophile did a review on both of them because I don't know if I'd hear the difference. But I will also say, now that I'm getting 2 free little HomePod minis with the 2 Pixel XL, or the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XLs, that I'd be inclined to get the Google one over the HomePod. I'm sure Apple's done an amazing job with it, no doubt in my mind, but Google may have done just as good of a job. Or there's a law of diminishing returns. Remember, I am not an audiophile at all, not remotely. So we've got another super chat or two. I apologize. Because I'm talking. Well, I'm not going to apologize for talking. I think you feel me. F43A97 asks, this is a super chat, thank you. What's your take on owning media and the sandboxing that is prominent with most companies in tech? Where would you purchase your content? Well, I kind of spoke to this, a few minutes ago. I stray and sway towards the lowest common denominator. One of the reasons why I have never invested heavily in terms of tracking MP3s or managing music libraries or, buying music a la carte is because inevitably I knew I may not be with that system forever. Or where can I access this media library? On which systems? And if it comes down to just one system, I'm less inclined to jump in. And even in living inside the Apple ecosystem for as long as I have, for the most part, that's been where I have been. The prospect is it's not interesting to me. It's not compelling to me. It makes me nervous because I don't want to waste money. No one wants to waste money. And so I look for ways to be able to get what I want without potentially hurting myself in the long run, even if it means I'm renting the music. But I always looked at it like, I don't own the music. I'm just renting it anyway. I get that. I understand that. Some people think they own the music. I'm like, no, you're just licensing it. That's it. You don't own that music. You own a disc, but if you had digital music, no, you don't own the music. You basically are given the rights to listen to the music. That's it. So I never really got wrapped up in tracking those digital files individually. So personally, I prefer those media renting solutions that are available cross-platform. And I'm saying this as someone who's used Apple products for years. Where would I purchase the content? Wherever I could know that I could get to it from just about anywhere. So if anything, I'd be more inclined to purchase content outright, let's say on Google Play, than I would be on Apple. Whether it's iTunes or iBooks or whatever. And the reason why, just think about this, you can get to all of Google's content on your Apple devices. You can get to Apple's Music on your Android device, but not the movies. Not the other stuff. You got to use an Apple device. Is Apple going to change their direction with that? Possibly, if they perceive that's an issue at some point down the road. I wouldn't hold my breath. It's not exactly their business model. It's a little disappointing, but I would say, you know, the more you purchase content in a sandboxed structure, the more you're potentially hurting yourself. Potentially. I'm not saying you are, but straying towards the middle is ultimately, you know, a good bet. It's a good gamble. But yeah, I don't know if I have a perfect answer for that, but that's how I've played it. David Stevens comes in with another super chat. Do you think Google is slowly gaining the coolness factor that Apple once had locked down? I would like to see them gain mainstream momentum with the Pixel. I agree. I'd like to see them gain mainstream momentum as well. I spoke to this in yesterday's video about how Google can beat Apple. I'm not sure if they can beat them on the coolness factor, though, and I know I've stated this over the past day or so, because that's a battle they can't win. You can't fight culture. They need to do a better job beyond advertising at selling people on what Google does beyond the search box. How do they do that? By creating compelling experiences. You know, I'm not being paid by Google to specifically talk up the Pixel. The onus would be on you to prove that. I would be transparent if I had that relationship, as I have been in the past. You know, if I sit here and tell you, wow, this is so much better than, you know, what I was doing before, that may resonate with you. And if I sit here and tell you, this is just not ready, that may resonate with you. I'm not into, you know, rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, you know, go team, go, you know, like you might be. I'm not accusing you directly. I'm just saying some people are just so wrapped up in Apple can do no wrong, Google can do no wrong, Microsoft can do no wrong. That's not how it works. I'm agnostic. So I would like to see it happen, but I think the coolness factor comes in when people are talking about the things that just work better, or people are immersed in those experiences that just work better. The Home Pod thing that they not Pod, the Google Home speaker thing that they got, the Mini, I think is a Trojan. Like it's in the sense that it gets in there, and you know, one person gets it, they start interacting with it, and pretty soon the other person like, I can do that too, even on my iPhone. Oh, that's kind of neat. That's really convenient. Well, what else do they have? You know, so they've got a low-cost device. They tried to do this with the Chromecast, and I know they brag. They've got like how many millions of units sold. They sold like 3 of them to me because they were like, what, $30 or whatever. I used one very briefly. I'm like, yeah, this isn't a replacement for what I was using before, which was an older Apple TV, I think, at that time. And I love AirPlay is what I was using. So, or the feature in the Apple TV AirPlay was killer for me at that time. But the you know, the aspect of coolness, I think, comes in when people are able to see what it is that these products and services offer. You know, like a friend, you know, says, you know, hey, you know, you keep running out of storage on your phone. You know, did you know you can get the photos thing automatically upload? Then you have to run over the hurdle of, well, yeah, but then I lose all my messages on this app or lose all my messages on that app. Everyone's got to decide for themselves. And I'm not sure if Google can catch up on the coolness factor. I just don't. I don't think Google has a cool brand. It's got a recognizable brand, a brand that people appreciate, but it hasn't translated for devices yet. When they start making a compelling range of products that they're, you know, 3 generations in, they're only 2 generations in at this point. But 3 generations in, they'll start gaining momentum. You know, these devices that create compelling experiences will be a story. And that, I think, is what's going to bring them to the coolness factor, or to have a coolness factor. Outright, though, it hasn't been the case. Android hasn't necessarily been seen as a luxury brand or a luxury platform. iOS has. Having an iPhone is a status symbol. Having an Android phone means you got one for free, I guess. Typically, I'm not saying that it didn't cost you anything. What I'm saying is that's typically what people know. But what have I said before? Apple is a luxury type of brand. That's what they're interested in creating. I'm not going to fault them for that. Everyone's got to have their take on the marketplace. Let's see here. Someone's telling me to calm down. You don't know me very well, do you? Like at all. I am calm. You must be new here. Oh, man. there's only so much that I can do. So much that I can do at any given time. But I do appreciate everybody certainly hanging out and asking questions. I did get an animated GIF up of Jedi reacting to the thunder, or both of us reacting to the thunder here. I just used the Jiffy tool, GIPHY. It's a free tool. I don't know what platforms, but they've got one in the Mac App Store. So it's available for Mac OS. It's never an easier way of screen capping or doing a video GIF outright. It's really, really nice. Art Bell. I wish it was the real Art Bell. I don't think it is. Chris equals more energized, more gesturing, but scrawny 14-year-old look a little. His hand as big as his head almost. Is that a compliment? Like, there you go. Trust Chris. His hand is as big as his head. I have big hands. Wasn't that the never-ending story that the rock, was it a rock giant? It says I trusted my hands. I had big hands or something. It's been so long since I've watched that movie. Lysergic Casserole asks, I love these handles. Does anyone need iMessage anymore with the likes of Facebook Messenger? In my opinion, no. Ask me why I'd say that. I'm telling you, I like Facebook Messenger. I haven't tried Allo. I don't think I've got enough people who would need to use Allo. Facebook's awesome for Messenger, and it's getting better. It's not perfect. Definitely not perfect. And now they have Messenger Lite and Facebook Lite for Android. Lite, not like. For fewer resources. So I'm definitely going to be trying those. I mean, even with a powerful device. I mean, those apps can sap battery life like you wouldn't believe. So I'm really into that kind of an experience. And Messenger, it works. It's clean. It's straightforward. I have no issues with it outright as a service. And I'm not the only one. Obviously, a lot of people are using it, and the fact that it's cross-platform is even better. Paranormal Activity asks, Intel or AMD? What year is this? There's another meme for you. Look, I'm Robin Williams in Jumanji. What year is it? Okay. David Stevens comes in with yet another super chat. The VIP here, the MVP of today's stream. What are you most excited about with the Pixel phones, cameras or UI UX? The Pixel phones, UI and UX. Cameras, because I love the good camera. In fact, when that camera shows up, hopefully all the autumn leaves are just going to be in full bloom. Like most of the camera tests that I'm going to do, they'll do some indoor stuff. It'll be extensive, but I can't wait to take shots of some autumn trees that we've got around town. Comparing the iPhone 8 Plus specifically to the Pixel 2 or the Pixel 2 XL. The cameras are both the same, so I'm not expecting that I'm going to do a Pixel 2 versus Pixel 2 XL from the camera standpoint. Sorry this got cut off, but BenZ98, thank you for joining. BenZ98 showed up in orange, which means he is a patron of mine. A bonus there, having the Discord chat, whether he's a new patron or not. I do appreciate the support. Welcome aboard. It's a 24/7 chat. Anything goes. It is the Chris Pirillo Cantina. At the Star Wars Cantina. The weirdest creatures you've ever seen. At the Star Wars Cantina. Music and blasters and old Jedi Masters. It's a real song. You should listen to it sometime. I gotta play it for Jedi, though. F43A97 comes in with yet another super chat. Says, is it now wanting the market, the Google lineup, as a competitor to contemporaries in the same field? Money is now an issue. Let me try reading that again. It is now wanting to market the Google lineup as a competitor to contemporaries in the same field. Money is now an issue. Google's, in this weird spot, just like with Microsoft, right? Microsoft's got their own stuff. But they also have OEMs that they support. So, how do you effectively, support this ecosystem, but your own stuff, pardon me, your own stuff as well? They're not their own worst enemy, but they are a competitor to their competitors. But that just puts the onus on the other people who license the Android platform to create more compelling experiences and then just win in the marketplace for having a better whatever strategy, whether that's hardware, software, services, it doesn't matter. It's just going to win with consumers in whatever way that it's possible. But I believe that this is where Google, I go back to this, man. I just feel that Google can't do this as the Google brand. I just feel this. I feel it's got to be Pixel or, a subsidiary of Alphabet. It's got to be spun out into another company, an Alphabet company. And I don't think Nest is the way to do it either. The only way I could see it happening is basically Nest would be assumed, and the Pixel team and the Nest team basically merge together, and it becomes the Pixel. The Google, it becomes Pixel, powered by Google, and then it's known as Pixel, and then you get these compelling experiences, outright from just one company. And I think that would be a smart way of doing it, because I Nest is not. That's not that brand. I'm like. I've heard a lot of people with problems with their Nests as well. Pixel is much more punchy. It's much more memorable than Nest, in my opinion. Ron Russell, with a regular chat, says, sorry, just joined. Don't worry about it. Anytime. Did you watch TNT today? Star Wars movies today? Oh, were there? No, we were at BrickCon earlier today, having fun and doing other things. The trailer drops tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. I'm not excited that it happens during football, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all the videos I normally do. I'm also going to apologize for having this blue bag in the shot for all that time. That annoys me. Why didn't anybody tell me? Just tell me. Please. I'm going to do a reaction to that video, the trailer. I'm not inclined to upload it to the Chris Pirillo channel, because I think that would really annoy people. It would be best to do it there, but I have Star Wars Radar, so I'm going to react on the Star Wars Radar YouTube channel, where not a lot of people are necessarily going to see it, or as many people who would see it otherwise. Of course, you can follow me, Star Wars Radar, on Twitter as well. That's got like 48,000 followers so far, which is fantastic. You can follow Chris Pirillo too. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. Thank you for letting me know there's a blue bag there now. That's just great. Anthony 10 asks, what's your daily driver? Me. I drive. Diana doesn't really drive a lot. She's usually in the back seat with Jedi. Favorite beer asks, the Red Dog 223. Oh, that's an easy question. Stout. Give me a good stout. A porter, maybe. It's a lightweight stout. I mean, basically, stout's a double porter. Stout, pretty much an easy. I like imperial stouts. I will tell you, I'm thoroughly repulsed by any kind of bourbon aged, or bourbon barrel aged stouts. Those turn my stomach like that. Not a fan of those stouts, but stouts in general, I'm a fan. Beyond that, not so much. Ben Z98. Yeah, tickets are out. Wait, no, they're not out now. Tickets are out tomorrow, Louie. We're getting tickets. I'm going to be going with Slav. I don't think The Last Jedi is going to be the first Star Wars movie Jedi sees. She's still a little young for that. Even BrickCon today, we got a few videos, but she wasn't really interested in the displays as much. So, Ben Z98, do you see Google Assistant or any voice assistant as something important? Yeah, I do. I think it makes the screen melt away, and that to me is what technology should do. It should not smack you in the face. It should just be there. And to me, a wristwatch smacks you in the face. Granted, I'm someone who wears glasses, and those kind of smack me in the face. I'm accustomed to them. Getting new frames here soon, new prescription. Can't wait for that. Very excited. It'll be over the next week, so when you see me looking slightly different, that's why. I'll actually probably look like I've lost more weight, because they're just a little larger, just a tiny bit, and a tiny bit thinner. But yeah, here's an example. We were driving in the car, and Diana and I are playing her along, and she kind of gives me hell, because I'm always talking, and I can just podcast as I walk around the house, just puttering around. But I'll talk to Jedi, and I'll use words that are well beyond her grasp of vocabulary. But I'll say, she'll say, "Oh, Daddy wants that," and I'm like, "Yeah, Daddy has the propensity for this kind of action," or "Yes, I have certain proclivities that steer me towards Star Wars products over other ones." I throw out words, but I use them in context. And then sometimes Jedi will go, "What?" Because I'll sometimes go, "What?" And I'll go, "Huh?" And Diana's like, "What?" She's a little perturbed that I go, "Huh?" because she doesn't want Jedi to pick it up. Oh, I'm okay with the word huh, but I'm also okay with the word perturbed. So then I start slathering on all sorts of fancy words where simple ones would have sufficed. And I said, I find your position jejune. And she laughed, of course. She's like, that's not even a word. I'm like, yeah, it is. So I pull up, I'm getting to your point, Benzine98. Let me tell my story. So I ask, hey, May Miri, what rhymes with May Miri when you're talking to an iPhone? May Miri, what is the definition of jejune? And it replies with something like, what was it? Gun something? It was so gunshot. It was so bizarrely off the mark. And I'm like, okay, maybe it was not sure if I was speaking English or French. I don't know. I know it's a word. So then I'm like, all right, okay. Just for argument's sake, let's just go ahead and pull up, Google Assistant on the iOS device and see what's up. And see if it knows what I'm saying. So I said in a very, very clear way, just as I did before, what Monet Moogle, what is the definition of jejune? And the definition of jejune is this. Just faster. One, it gave me the proper response faster than the incorrect response, which took longer. So I believe, and by the way, it basically means that it's not a very well constructed thought, and it's irrelevant. It's what's another good word for jejune? It's not well structured. It's just kind of like just very basic. So I'm paraphrasing. I think it's very important because I'd rather interact with technology by talking to it sometimes than like type, punch. I'd rather just see it rather than having to just be this invasive part of my my life. And I see technology as invasive, not pervasive. Like I said, I'm the world's worst tech person to ever follow, anywhere and everywhere. I'm telling you that right now. I'm warning you. You will not get what you get elsewhere with me. It ain't gonna happen. Sorry, not sorry. I want less technology, not more of it. Oh. Let's see here. What we got some other questions here. Let's see here. Oh, hang on. I did miss a super chat. F3 A97. I do apologize for that. You did. Oh, it gives you context. I dislike the route that Google is taking. Google used to cater to the tech enthusiast and developer affordable phones to refine applications and test new software. It is now wanting to market the Google lineup as a competitor to contemporaries in the same field. Money is now an issue. I'm with you. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I think we had a pretty good dialogue before, though. I think they can have their cake and eat it, too. I think that the route they're taking with the Pixel is certainly premium, but it is priced competitively for the most part, minus what, let's say, OnePlus is doing with their devices. They're still very developer-friendly. Android is still very developer-friendly. Tech enthusiasts sometimes don't want to pay bottom dollar for something either. I've also said, and I think this was in yesterday's video on the other YouTube channel, that Google needs to create more affordable Android One experiences, specifically for tech enthusiasts that are certainly budget conscious. So, the thing is, Google has to have mass appeal for it to continue to succeed. I think they're seeing this mess of an Android experience and trying to effectively right the ship. And I know this is where we'll get into the weeds here, because some people don't believe that Google's ever had a problem with Android, that Android's ever had a problem. I would disagree with that. For all the reasons why Google is now doing things that are far more interesting to me. But I'm with you. I don't want to see them price themselves out of a good experience for the people that want a clean experience but don't want to pay top dollar. For Android, I think that's Android One. That's not necessarily controlled by Google. For Chrome OS, there are plenty of Chromebooks that provide compelling experiences without a lot of cruft. And it's an interesting take, but they're not. I don't think they're leaving you behind. They're just refining the direction and effectively making a better experience for those that are looking for that other aspect or that other end of the marketplace. Not right, it's not wrong, it just is. And I think having mass appeal is going to be more important for their longevity, for Google's longevity, for Android's longevity. I think it's critical. Apple needs a true competitor. And for that reason and that reason alone, I think this is the right direction for Google to take. Apple needs a competitor. It's long overdue. Despite what the people on Google Plus tell you. They don't read. Huawei is doing a great job, says for F43A97 with another super chat. I agree. Last Huawei device I had or have is specifically the Nexus 6P. That's Huawei, right? I think it is. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's good. I don't know if we can get them as easily here in the States though. That's kind of an impediment. I'd like to try some of their Android One experiences, but like I said, you got to find the right person, the right company, the right connection, and the right this, that, and the other thing. And unless they reach out to me or I'm lucky enough to fall into, we are apparently at an hour or close to 5 minutes. So sorry everybody in chat. There was a question and I'll read it here on my screen. So don't worry. I'll get to the questions, but we are going to start to wind down here as we reach to an hour. It's just getting lucky to be able to get that device outright without spending an arm and a leg. In chat, we did have a couple of questions. Benz98 says, another question, will you be getting a Nokia 8? It looks sick. Good. I don't have any contacts at Nokia. Probably not a flagship I would chase down outright because I haven't had a lot of people asking about it. If I find someone at Nokia, if you know someone at Nokia, sure, I'd love to give it a shake. Michael Tristan also had a question up here. Chris, I have a MacBook Pro with Avast, CC Cleaner, and Malwarebytes. Are there these programs necessary to have? If not, what would be a good program to replace all three of them? I don't run any of them on my Mac. I haven't run any of that. You don't need them on a Mac. You don't. Don't download things is the moral of the story. Stop downloading things you should not be downloading. And I would even say, I could say download just from trusted sources, but it's even been seen that even like with CC Cleaner, one of the installs came wrapped with a malware. A piece of software was basically invaded. A software that was intended on dropping, or basically giving you an ability to keep bad things from being on your computer. So you gotta watch out. I'm not a fan of a lot of that stuff. At all. If you do anything, maybe run Mac OS in a virtual machine on Parallels, and then just have your your desktop run as a wrapper and don't do anything on that system, and then just use Parallels and then run everything in there in a completely sandboxed environment. That would be what I would do. I've got a couple of questions here in the regular chat as we begin to wind down. When does your Pixel book arrive? I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but later this month. Let's see here. Google dropped, and this is according to R. Bassett Jr. Google dropped, that's where I said dropped earlier because I was reading and was talking at the same time. Support for the Chrome App Dev IDE for Chrome OS and the Android IDE doesn't work on Chrome OS. This is a bummer for me as a hobby game developer and Chromebook user. Really? Well, then how are they doing the whole Android apps on Chrome OS thing? They got to have something. They got to be doing something. That's surprising. I'll have to ask a couple of people that I know would know more about this. Gustavo Barbosa says, iPhone users afraid of change should begin a Google tryout by adopting all Google services provided cross-platform. If it works for them, they're ready to get a Pixel. Agreed on the method? Yes and no. It's a trade-off. And that's the thing, is like, if what's working for someone's working, there's no reason to change. If what's not working is not working well enough, that is a reason to change. That's why you have to look at someone's pain points. Not just replacing one thing with another. Not just making a lateral move. It has to be demonstrably better for them. Not empirically better based on its technology. It's just got to be better for them. Outright. Let's see here. Scrolling through. See if I see any other questions. Outright. Brandon Manzella asks, do you plan on using your Pixelbook more as a tablet? Both. I'll use it like an iPad. I've got the keyboard and everything. I'll be selling this one too, probably, if I like the Pixelbook at all. If it provides a smoother experience. in general, it'll be the Pixelbook for me because I browse the web on the Pixelbook. I do things on the iPad, or would do things that I could normally do. It would be, a fantastic little laptop/tablet replacement, I think, potentially. We'll see. That remains to be seen. If it performs better in software, I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. Zero doubt in my mind. Eddie Z asks, iPhone 7 Plus or iPhone 8 Plus? Watch the video in the other channel, youtube.com/Chris Pirillo. I already talked about that for like an hour over there. Let's see here. Brandon Manzella also asks, are you afraid of not having split screen apps? Why would I be afraid of that? That's the biggest point for me. No, I don't think so. It could be added in software, possibly. Moreover, with the Android apps in Chrome OS and the browser, you can have a windowed Android app now optimized for both Chrome OS and Android, side by side with the Chrome browser floating on top of it. So why would I want split screen stuff? I don't know. I'm not a split screen fan necessarily. I've never been much on it, honestly. So I'm the wrong person to ask for that. Christian Daw asks, why is the iMac off? I have an hour set for the power. I don't like burning power, and apparently it's been about an hour. So it just lets me know it's time to wind down the stream. It was actually good. Otherwise, I would have kept talking. Michael Tristan, thank you for a super chat. Once again, it's a great way of sandwiching a fantastic TLDR for all intents and purposes. I thought we talked about some good stuff today. Based on the questions you had, so if you don't like the way it happened, you can ask different questions next time. Jeffrey asks, not to confuse you with Joffrey, there's already Lineage OS 15, aka Oreo, on my Galaxy S5. It's running smooth, although it's an alpha. I will not miss Pixel 2 at the moment because I will get a similar experience. Well, there you go. That new Sony phone is really compelling. Great hardware and close to stock Android, says F43A97. Just not available in the States. Any reason why? Couldn't tell you. See, these are things that I would love to try. But, these are things that, if I got the Sony smartphone, like, maybe 1,000 people would care. The next phone I know I need to get, beyond the V30, I know some people are interested. I know. I've got to get a Note 8. I know. I am working on it. Believe you me. Cedric Duke Jr. asks a question, checking the time here. This would be the last question. Do you think selling first gen for more of a discount than $100 off, maybe 200 or 300 since it's gen old, and have that as an affordable option could be successful? Ultimately, the best price to put on something is the price someone is willing to pay. That's it. What's the right price? What someone's willing to pay. If they don't move enough of them, they'll drop the price. That's usually how it goes. In another 6 months, the price will drop. I don't think they needed to just slash everything in half necessarily. I think it's things are priced what they are because they're trying to recoup costs. They're trying to still generate revenue. Can't fault them for that. You want to wait a little while and take that risk? Sure. Same things happen with the Lego sets and Star Wars toys. There are things I'm willing to wait on, thinking, with the patterns, I'll be able to save money on this. Do I need this right now, or can I wait? Certain things I will not wait on. Things I will not wait on, I will grab right up front, knowing I'm paying a premium. But I know I want it indefinitely at any price. So no, I don't think that's an issue, or relative to being more successful or less successful. It's just how the marketplace is going to work. You can always go with the lower cost alternative if budget's what's driving your decision. Would I want to save as much money as I possibly could on something? Absolutely. Does that mean it's going to happen that way? Absolutely not. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for all of the super chats. Thank you to all the patrons and the subs. As I explained at the very beginning of this video, hopefully it's clear to you. You've got to have your Discord account connected to your Twitch account if you become a sub over there. Twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo. You have to have your Discord account connected to your Patreon account if you become a sub of mine that way and become a patron at patreon.com/Chris Pirillo. Either way, Discord chat is still up. It's still going. It's still running. People will likely be chatting there for a little while about this, that, or the other thing. Stay tuned for the other video on the other channel. I'll be uploading that here in another few minutes. You'll be able to watch that. Plenty more Chris Pirillo to be heard in the podcast, you should subscribe to that. Search for Chris Pirillo in your favorite podcast client or platform. Please do that, because if you don't find my name in your platform, I have to submit the feed to it. So let me know. If you are listening to the podcast, hopefully you are, because it's more. You would get another half hour worth of me talking about similar stuff, but different, because I'm answering different questions. I'm talking about different things. And the next podcast will be published tomorrow. So plenty more to listen to, plenty more to watch. Follow me across social. Turn on those notifications. Thank you once again. I appreciate you. I love you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.